Welcome back to Swanson's Garage, everybody. I'm Jacob, and we got this transmission case on this 1525 Allis just about empty. Like I mentioned last week, once we get the bearing splitter and puller, hopefully we'll be able to get that belt pulley off, and then we can dive into scraping some more crud out of here. I actually just did a little bit more of that. I scraped a few pounds of grease and gunk out of there. Can't hardly tell, but I did. And then earlier today I did win. I finally got those taper pins out of there. Got the remainder of those shifting rails in pieces removed from the transmission housing. So that was a good victory. Wasn't easy. I think that's the hardest part of this whole process, is getting those stupid taper pins out of there, because they're driven from the top down, and until you get at least one of those removed, you can't flip anything around to get a good access to swing. You can't swing from the back side. It's too hard to get in there and see what you're doing. So until you get one of them off, then you can finagle and flip and flop things over so you can hit them back down. But that's the hardest part of this whole disassembly here, is getting those out of there. Lots of broken, and worn. We already talked, that's broken in a couple different places. I don't know where the other spot was, but I seen, oh yeah, down here, 2 cracks in it. Catch it in the right light, you can see it there. So that's broke, that's broke. So when I'm home, I'll probably grab the differential from the Michigan parts tractor. Hopefully we'll be able to make one good differential out of the 2. Lots of worn gears. We'll have to get everything cleaned up as the first step and see what kind of shape everything is in. On initial inspection, it's looking like the bearing races on this tractor are going to be in better shape than the 26. I don't feel any worn spots like the other one had, but they're so dirty yet I'm not going to make any official claims yet. But with any luck, maybe we'll be able to use some of the bearings over in this transmission, which will make up for having to potentially get some new gears made and whatnot. Both sides of that shifting one are rather worn, but cleaning is the first step. Welcome back to Swanson's Garage, everybody. I was recently home and got the big bearing splitter and puller, so we can try to see if we can get this belt pulley off. I just got done putting the big bearing splitter on there. I think that should work. Now I see if I can rig up the big puller in between. Should be able to work in between the spokes here pretty easily. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this one is not as much of a pain as it was on the other transmission. Of course, we didn't have this big bearing splitter and puller at that time, so hopefully that makes life easier. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see. It's pretty tight in here to be able to get a good hammer angle. I've got the puller rigged up here, and I figured, I'm going to have to fight with it a while before I even bother turning the camera on. But I put it on and started cranking on this, and it's moving. I think it's coming right off, which is utterly amazing. I was not expecting that at all. With as much as we fought with that other one, granted we didn't have the proper pullers and stuff, but still, we put a oodles of heat and oodles of pressure on the other one before we finally got it to move. This one, no heat and very minimal pressure. I mean, like I said, as far as I can tell, it's sliding right off here. Let's actually go go all the way around with a little bit of effort. It's actually getting easier. I need a little bit of lube on the threads of my puller. It's kind of squeaky, huh? I think I'm going to be just about there. Sure. Yeah. We're loose. Woohoo! Well, that was easy. I gotta get this all back off. It probably took longer for me to set up the jig and take it back off than it did to actually do the pulling. Okay, next is to pull the bearing for the belt pulley end of the shaft off of the shaft, and then we can remove the rest of the shaft out the other side. We could have actually driven the bearing back through the bore, but it's got to come off anyway, so we might as well pull it now. And we had the splitter and puller out, so might as well use it. Just kidding. I can't budge that bearing. I guess we're going to have to drive it back through the bore and take it out and put it in the press. I can't even make it even begin to move. That wasn't so bad. Got that out. And of course we'll have to clean everything up, but I don't see any signs of any fretting or bad things on this belt pulley or shaft like we did with the other transmission. So besides a potentially new sliding gear, I think we'll be pretty good as far as that goes here. We'll have lots of fights, but different fights. Now we can do a lot more cleaning. And while I was home, I brought back some more reclaimed pieces of steel here. Between that and some stuff I had around here, got some casters. I think we might have enough stuff to make up some type of a stand for this transmission housing, similar to how we built the stand for that one. So we can get it up on there will probably be the next move. And now we can put this cherry picker away and have a little bit more room to work and start degunkifying everything. Well, it's officially grass cutting season here, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because that means we got less time to come out to the shop and work on projects, but I did sneak out here for a little bit this weekend. Figured I'd give you a little quick update on what I got done. I'm working on making the stand for the second transmission. I'm going to build it very similar to the first one, like we've talked about. So I got some things roughed out here. I got the bottom plates done, drilled and tapped for all the casters. Working on getting these ones cut to length here. This is for the front. That one's cut. Just got to drill some holes there to mount everything. This will be for the rear. Kind of started to get things figured out here. I've got to make a few more pieces yet and drill a bunch of holes. So, and that's all the garbage we cut off because we're using recycled stuff. Some of this is recycled. All this box tubing here was a tow hitch that we picked up. I'm not even sure where we got that from, the garage sale or something, for like pulling a vehicle behind another vehicle or whatever. And so it started life as that. Somebody had built it. We cut it apart, and it was our little mini press. And then when we finished using that, we took it apart, and now I'm using it for a third project here for this stand. That's why it's got the holes in it. That was our pins from our press framework. So yeah, progress is being made, but it's just slow. Like I said, come summertime, I just have less time to work on this tractor fun stuff, because there's grass to mow and house to paint and gardens to weed, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. So videos might get a little more scarce here now that it's summertime, but just know that I will keep picking away at this, and I will upload videos when I have something to share. That's another part of the reason why you haven't seen a 1525 video in a couple weeks here, is because even if I am working on this, it's just cleaning up grimy parts, you know, grimy parts. So there's not much to film there. So basically I'll check back when I have something to show you. Welcome back. For you, it's only been a few seconds, but in the real world, it's been like 3 months since I've really actively done anything on this project. Like it's summer, you know, going to tractor shows, and you know the ladders are out because I've been working on painting the house and weeding the gardens and mowing the lawn and fixing weed whackers, and there's just, you know, way too many things to do and not enough time. But I spent a little bit of time here this weekend finishing up, or I'm close to finishing up the stands for the second transmission. Yesterday I drilled a whole bunch of holes. Didn't bother showing that because you've all seen holes drilled before. We got these 2 chunks of stand just about ready. I got to make up a couple of spacers for this one, for the rear. And then I think we can actually put this thing on a stand, which will be good. Finally get this cherry picker freed up and put away. It's been cluttering up the shop here all summer long. Really starting to bother me. So let's see if we can get that done. That's kind of the goal for the day, to see if we can get this up on the stand. So I cut my spacers, and then I realized I goofed. When I picked up all my hardware yesterday, I got the same size bolts that I used in that stand, not even thinking about the fact that this stand is a little bit different. It's all going to end up the same ultimate height, because I like the height that stand came out. Because of the different scraps I'm using with what I had to work with, this is taller and this is shorter, so I need, you know, a longer bolt. Bummer. That means we won't be able to quite finish this all today like I was hoping to do. Well, we can at least get a bunch of it done and kind of mocked up, I hope. We just about got her. Like I said, I got to get some longer bolts to go up through here and bolt into the bottom of the housing. But other than that, it's pretty much ready to go. Basically the same concept as the other one. It seemed to work really good, so I basically did the same thing again. I also brought back the differential from the Michigan parts tractor last time I was home. Grabbed that because I knew hopefully we'll be able to use at least those halves to make this one a complete unit. Because if you remember, the other side of this one that is broken, now they are different. If you look at the holes in that one versus the holes in this one, they are different versions. I think they're interchangeable, but I don't know that yet. We'll have to do some investigating when we get that far. That'll probably be a winter project. You know, the goal was supposed to have been get some paint on that one and whatever. Well, it isn't looking like that's probably going to happen this year the way things are going. So it'll probably be a case of I'll try to get this kind of like I did last year or whatever, the year before at this point. Get this cleaned up and start rebuilding it this winter. And then depending on how things go, maybe we will actually have 2 transmission housings ready for paint come next spring. You know, these projects, they take a while. It's not just a days or months or weeks. These are years projects. So sometimes things don't go as planned, but what do you do? Oh, this episode's going to be an editing nightmare, I tell you what. So it's been, in real world time, it's been another couple of months since that last bit that you just saw a second ago. But I finally got this transmission up on its stand. Got the cherry picker all off of it. Been trying to organize the shop here a little bit. Starting to get back in the swing of working out here a little bit since the weather is starting to turn cold on us here. They actually are using that dirty S word in the forecast in the upcoming weeks here. So, yeah, you know what that means. That means get to go in the garage and work all winter long time of year. It's actually a pretty nice day outside there. It's sunny. It's cold, but it's sunny and the wind's not blowing, so it's not terrible out there. I think I'm going to try rolling this outside and at least start wire wheeling, getting the outside of it cleaned up a little bit. Got to do that while the weather cooperates here, because we can always clean. The inside needs to be degunkified yet. That's nasty in there, but we can do that in the inside of the shop here, even when it's cold outside. So I don't like wire wheeling inside the shop because that just makes such a mess in here. So let's see if we can get this outside. Yeah, with as beautiful as a fall day as it is, I've had about enough fun wire wheeling this transmission case for one day. Guy can only stand so many hours of that before you got to take a break. Made a good dent in it. It's looking a lot better. Still a long way to go. Well, it's been a few more weeks since you've seen that last clip. We've had snow, it's melted, we've had more snow. It's winter here. You probably hear the heater is on. We've used the snow blower. We went from spring all the way to winter in this one episode. It's pretty bad. But now that we are in tractor working mode, we will get back to this in the near future, hopefully. I've been distracted with a little bit of shop cleaning. We got new deliveries coming soon. We're working on other mystery projects. A little glimpse of that. You may or may not see that in future episodes of other fun projects, but just know that we are getting back on this 1525 project, and hopefully you will see more of that. Hey, thanks for coming in and hanging out with me. Come back soon and check out what's going on with this 1525 restoration. See you soon.